Hello, Times Cryptic, let's go. Beetle auto-acquired by Swedish competitor? Half-heartedly. Nope. Capital gain. Choose alternately between 500 and 1,000. 500 could be the Roman numeral D and 1,000 M. Capital gain. Nope. Americans' broken working key entering fancy hotel. I wonder if this is on the fritz. So, I think on the fritz is an American expression for broken. Working is on. Key is F, one of the musical keys. Entering fancy hotel, entering the Ritz. Tarzan, he swings around town. Well, swings looks like an anagram indicator for Tarzan and he. And we're looking for a town with Z in third place. Nazareth, yes, phew. I was looking for an English town, but further afield. Capital gain, already looked at that. The right-hand page, right vicar, this is rector. So the right-hand page is recto. Right is R, the abbreviation. That gives rector, which is vicar. Husband served up eggs, beginning to create chaos. This is havoc. Husband is H, the abbreviation. Served up is a reversal indicator for eggs, which are over. Beginning to create is the initial letter of create. That gives havoc, which is chaos. Star, very long time back. This is Vega. Vega is a star. Very is V, the abbreviation. Long time is age, and back is a reversal indicator. Totally lost. Part of game, admitting that's disgusting. Performance, ultimately. Well, that's disgusting is often the interjection UGH. But is it in this case? Totally lost. Part of game, admitting that's disgusting. Performance ultimately. Performance ultimately could be the last letter of performance. So I think the definition is totally lost. And I'm not getting further on that. Wherefore, people barely go on holiday. Well, people barely looks like a reference to naturism. But is it naturism? Wherefore? Is that the reason why people barely go on holiday is because they espouse naturism? I think that's how it works, a misleading definition in which barely is intended to mean without clothes, whereas you naturally read it as meaning almost or only just. Now, one more letter and 8 down. Totally lost. Gosh, I feel that this should be gettable from the number of crossing letters, but I'm not getting it. Let me revisit 5 across. Capital gain. So capital could be a capital city. Gain could be win. Choose alternately, I think, is telling us to take something or something else. But H isn't 500. Gosh, not getting that. Shivered like this, frenzied, dancer. So frenzied looks like an anagram indicator. Shivered like this does have the right number of letters. So we're looking for a dancer. Ooh, and this could be a modern dancer who hasn't died yet. With the letters being shivered like this. There's a new fear factor introduced with the inclusion of living people, because the number of candidate living people is vast. Okay, let me look at some of these downs. Dance company not available to tour Greece initially. Yeah, I think this is conga. A conga is a dance. Company is CO, the abbreviation. Not available is NA, the abbreviation. To tour Greece initially, to go about the initial letter of Greece. Tries to stop genuine practice. This is rehearsal. So tries is hears in the judicial sense. To stop genuine, to stop or be in the middle of real. That gives rehearsal, which is practice. Get rid of cases from scientist. Wow, don't know. Beetle. Well, a scarab is a beetle. Auto. Acquired by Swedish competitor. Well, I think the Swedish competitor is Saab. Half-heartedly with only one A. So auto is car, acquired by Saab without an A. That gives scarab, which is a beetle. Okay, B may be helpful. Get rid of cases from scientist. Wow. Not getting that. Sumptuous, rich cloth covering walls of apartment, 1A. Well, walls of apartment is probably AT. 1A could be IA. I'll need to come back to that. Bible book, bishop, removed from pulpits. This is Amos. So Amos is a book in the Bible. Pulpits are ambos. And bishop is B, the chess abbreviation. So B, removed from ambos, gives Amos. Married, submarine captain's crazy yen for mother of 9. I wonder if this is Nemo's sign. So, married is M, the abbreviation. Submarine captain is Captain Nemo in literature. Or submarine captains, apostrophe S, is Nemo's. And then crazy is an anagram indicator for yen. That gives Nemo's sign, who is a classical character and must be a mother of 9 offspring. Polite Belgian crooner got married according to Spooner. So polite could be well bred, but then according to Spooner, that would then give Brel wed. Ah, well, the got married bit works. So let me put in well. The reference to Spooner means that you take the initial letters and swap them around. So this is going to end ED, and it means polite. Crooner. Belgian crooner. Wow, who is a Belgian crooner? No idea. Edge closer to humongous fish. Nope. Plant losing millions in absurd embargo. So absurd looks like an anagram indicator for embargo without M for millions, because we're told to lose millions from the anagram of embargo. So E-bargo gives borage, which is a plant. Blood group recorded in error. Nope. Monster insect chasing live man. This is behemoth. So a behemoth is a monster. Insect is moth. Chasing live, bee, man, he. Home office, finally supporting alpha, chap. Well, supporting alpha, is alpha A? Gosh. Two isolated clues at the bottom here. Both look promising in terms of the letters that are in, but I've looked at both of them and not made progress. So home could be in or HO. Probably in. Office finally could be the final letter of office. Supporting alpha. Well, if alpha was A, then home would be a 3-letter word for home, therefore not in. The whole thing means chap. So it could be just a man's name beginning with A, ending in E, with a 3-letter word for home in the middle. Gosh, don't know. Hopefully not E at the end. Blood group recorded in error. Recorded could be a homophone indicator. Blood group is usually A, B, or O. Wow. Not getting that. Opera gig involved musical exercise. So, involved looks like an anagram indicator for opera gig. That gives arpeggio, which is a musical exercise. Now, this does look like well-bred. So, well-bred does mean polite. Belgian crooner got married. Brel wed. Brel must be a Belgian crooner, but it's a new one on me. Yeah, I'm confident this answer's correct. Illegal action picked up after 21s in game. Nope. Shivered like this, frenzied, dancer. Now we've got a few more clues in. We're looking for an anagram of shivered like this. Where does the V go? No, not getting that. Okay, back to the acrosses that I haven't looked at. Fruit only imported for a day in period of fasting. Lent is a period of fasting. Fruit. So the definition's either at the beginning or the end. So if period of fasting is Lent, then fruit is the definition. Only imported for a day. Nope, not getting that. Already looked at that. Drink with German chap visiting Saxony on vacation. So I don't know what the answer is here, but on vacation is a crossword instruction telling us to vacate the word it applies to. So Saxony on vacation would leave us with S and Y, and visiting suggests in the middle of. So we're looking for a drink. German chap. I noticed that shandy fits the letter pattern and is a drink. But a German chap isn't Hand. Hans would be, but Shancy is not a drink. Sherry is a drink, and her is German for mister, so that all works out. Untrained reserves once sent north in conflict. Could this be at war? Untrained is raw. Reserves is TA for Territorial Army. Once indicates that the Territorial Army is no longer called that. Sent north is a reversal indicator for raw and TA. That gives at war, which means in conflict. Now, does W help? Illegal action. Picked up after 21s, after borrages, in game. Wow. Not getting that. Okay, so this is a tough one today. I wonder if I've clicked on the Monday puzzle or a different one, but I don't recognise any of the clues, so I don't think it's a puzzle I've solved before. So let me look at the downs I haven't looked at. Prime Minister's announcement that precedes the New Deal. So we could be looking for a Prime Minister with an announcement first in front of a New Deal, which could just be an anagram of deal. Not getting that. Like to preserve appearance in French city. So like could be as, to preserve or to keep, and then a 4-letter word for appearance, with the whole thing being a French city. And I'm not getting that. Okay, so this is pretty scary. I think I've looked at everything. 17 minutes down, and there are a lot of empty spaces on the board. So let me just start and work through the acrosses again and see if inspiration can strike. Capital. Now, if gain was win, this singer would have a W in it. There's no W in shivered like this. So, gain probably doesn't mean win. It could be land. Land means win, and there is an L in the dancer anagram letters. But I think we are looking for a capital city. Collapsing chair. So, capital. Gain. Choose alternately between 500 and 1,000. Yeah, this is Windhoek. Wow, this is hard. So Windhoek is the capital of somewhere in Africa. Choose alternately tells us to take alternate letters in choose. So beginning with the H, we've got H, O, and E. So Windhoek is the capital. Gain is win. Choose alternately is HOE between 500 D, which is 500 in Roman numerals, and 1,000 K, which can stand for 1,000. Okay, well that's good and bad news. It means I don't need to pursue an anagram of shivered like this, which wasn't very productive. But it also means that I've got no other avenues 4, 5 down. But let me revisit this. Shivered like this. Aha, yes. Phew, whirling dervish. So a whirling dervish is a frenzied dancer. But why? Yeah. This is one of these clues where you can read the answer as wordplay for a given word. So like this tells us that the answer can be wordplay for shivered. And if we regard whirling as an anagram indicator applied to dervish, then we can see that dervish is an anagram of shivered. Okay, well that divides the grid now into 3 separate sections. Let me have a look at the top left. Sumptuous. Rich cloth covering walls of apartment. 1A. Wow. What is this? 1A could be IA. It could also be 1 across, which is scarab. Sumptuous. And it's not clear whether the definition is sumptuous, which I think it is, or it could be a sumptuous rich cloth. Okay, now B and F ought to be really helpful. Get rid of. Cases from scientist. Get rid of looks like the definition as in be gone. Cases from scientist. So it looks like we're looking for a scientist and we then got to remove a synonym for cases. Cases could just be CA. This is surely an E in second place. And the definition, I think, well, from could be of. Aha. This is boffin. Phew. I could have spent a long time going down the wrong avenue with this. But get rid of is bin. Cases, or puts in a case or includes from. Off must mean from. So bin outside of off gives boffin, which is scientist. Not totally happy with off being a synonym for from, but I think that is how the clue is meant to be read. Now, I not helpful, but it's all we're getting. Well, interesting. If walls of apartment is AT, and if 1A is IA, that works. And sumptuous is palatial. Fantastic. So, rich cloth is a pall, Pall, covering walls of apartment, AT, and 1A, IA. Excuse me. Okay, great. That's one of the 3 sections dealt with. 23 minutes down. Let me have a look at the bottom right. So, 19 across. Edge closer to. Humongous fish. Wow, I'm just not seeing how this clue works, and there are so many 4-letter fishes. Let me look at 8 down, because I've now got this E at the beginning. This must be helpful. Totally lost. Let me get rid of this U. I think it's clearly wrong. Totally lost. Part of game, admitting. That's disgusting. Aha, totally lost could be engrossed. If you're totally lost in something, you're engrossed in it. Part of game is end. Admitting that's disgusting, gross. And performance ultimately E. So it's end about gross plus E gives engrossed, which means totally lost. Now, does this D help? Edge closer. Yeah, wow. I think this is side. Side is edge. I think rather than closer, this is to be read as closer. And the closer to the word humongous is the letter which closes that word, which is S. and then fish is eyed. Prime Minister's announcement that precedes the New Deal. Okay, so there has to be a vowel in second place. A, E, I, O, U or Y. None of those work, either in terms of Prime Minister or announcement. We got Whirling Dervish in. That provides an R. Fruit, only imported for a day in period of fasting. Now, I thought the period of fasting might be Lent, but I think it's going to be Ramadan. And only imported for a day tells us to remove A and D, the abbreviation for day, from Ramadan, which leaves Ram-an, and replace it with a word for only, such as but, which gives rambutan, which is a fruit. Fantastic. Now, M looks helpful. Like, to preserve appearance in French city, this is amiens. Apologies for the pronunciation. So like is as, to preserve appearance, to contain mien, gives amiens, which is a French city. Illegal action. Picked up after 21's forages in game. So the definition is either illegal action or game. Not getting either. Now we've got U as a new letter for 16 down. Prime Minister's announcement that precedes the New Deal. Reshuffle. Phew. Yeah, so prime ministers in England have cabinet ministers, and when they change the cabinet ministers around, it's called a reshuffle. So a reshuffle is a prime minister's announcement, and when you're playing cards, a reshuffle is what precedes a new deal of those cards. Now, F looks super helpful. Illegal action. Now, I think the answer is guinea fowl because that's game. But let me see if I can understand the word play. So the definition is game, guinea fowl. Illegal action picked up. So picked up is a homophone indicator, and illegal action is a foul, F-O-U-L, which sounds like F-O-W-L. After 21S, well, 21S is 21 shillings, and 21 shillings is a guinea. So fowl after guinea gives guinea fowl, which is game. Now, let me pause and do my quick typo squiz. I'm delighted to have got this far. The puzzle looked really, really tricky a short while ago when we had 3 separate sections not completed. So just finishing a look at the downs. Yeah, everything in is as intended. So 29 minutes down, which is crazy. 2 clues to go. Blood group. Recorded in error. Wow, what is this? So we're either looking for a word meaning error or a word meaning blood as the definition. And I'm not, an error could be a typo. Here we go, it is typo. So recorded is a homophone indicator, and a blood group, one of the blood groups is type O, and that sounds like typo, which is an error. Now, 1 clue to go. Home Office finally supported Alpha Chap. Wow. Yeah, this is abode. So an abode is a home. Office finally is the final letter of office, supporting alpha, A, and chap, bod. So there we go. Every clue solved, every clue explained. No empty squares. Submit, submit. Hope and pray. No errors. Fantastic. Wow, what a challenge. That was a super stiff challenge for a Times Cryptic puzzle on a Monday, but fantastic fun nonetheless. The crosswords in general increase during the week, and I love all levels of difficulty in the Times, but certainly this felt more like a Wednesday or Thursday puzzle than a Monday one. But what a superb range of words and general knowledge we have here. Wind hook. I still can't remember which country that is the capital of, but also on the fritz, quite a rare expression in England. So nice to see that popping up here, and just generally a great puzzle. So in terms of the snitch, I would say this is probably in the 80s or 90s. So I hope you enjoyed watching that solve. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.